Welcome to The Walking Twat. Kind of. It's kind of a weird episode. Normally, The Walking Twat is kind of sporadically done, while this one has a topic in advance, so yeah, it's kind of odd. Because I want to talk about subverting expectations. Mainly in the way of, well, mainly in the context of D&D. Here's the thing. It's kind of been done before, and not like, oh yes, expectations have been subverted, because expectations are subverted all the time. It's more, it's hard to do it in a way that will kind of makes people care, because, well, many of the ways are done so much that no one is surprised when you subvert expectations. Basically, you're no longer subverting expectations when you're subverting expectations. For instance, when I think of a D&D character, one of the first things that jumps to mind always is the good drow. Which is a subversion of the idea of all drow are evil, oh look, here we have a good drow. This one stands out, this one has something unique to it. But when that is one of the most standard characters you can think of, well, it really doesn't work a lot anymore. You can't subvert expectations when the thing you're not supposed to expect is the thing, well, is a standard. And in many ways has this kind of blocked the way of normally evil characters being good. That is really rarely surprising at this point. The opposite is also kind of true. The normally good character turned bad, turned evil, or with a definition of good that is so different from ours that we just see it as evil. When a character who presented themselves as good then just goes, haha, I was evil all along, no one goes, oh, shock. Instead, people go, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Now, it is good when it is a case of, oh yeah, that makes sense, I guess. That is a reaction you do want, but you want that later on. You want an, oh shit, oh god, oh no. You want kind of a visceral reaction, and then later on think, yeah, it makes sense that they did that. Seeing things from their perspective, of course they would do it this way. So then the question becomes, if that isn't how you're the best way to do it, how do you do it? This is the way that I have found that is the most, that's very effective. That gets a lot of fun reactions. Make a normally evil character neutral. I've talked about this in my map video, but I have a hunnery in my world that's run by goblins. I also have, or at least had, a farm run by drow. The trick is to not make them explicitly good, but also not say that they are bad. They are neutral, they are just a person in the world. Here's the fun part about that. A neutral person is also the perfect disguise for a bad person. A farmhouse could have been the perfect disguise for some evil big plan they were doing in the basement or something. It puts them in a fun place of, they seem harmless, but we do not know. A drow flaying their slaves is obviously evil. An angel coming down from the heavens and standing to tend to the wounds of the dying is obviously good. But what do you do with a goblin who is tending to his bees? It's nice and unclear. And I adore unclear. Unclear is so freaking nice. You can go the other way as well. You can take someone who is normally good and make them neutral, but that would be slightly harder. At least I wouldn't exactly know how to do that. For instance, goblin farmers are very easy, but a stereotypically good person, at least in D&D, they seem generally much more rigid. When I think of when I try to think of some stereotypically good type of characters in D&D, I think of angels or unicorns. These shapes of good are... in the world, it's very hard to make them something else. Angels are made of good energy. That's what they are comprised of. Just devils are made of evil energy, angels are made of good energy. Slightly more could be done probably with Fae, though not as much unicorns, at least if you look into their description. Just, if you look into what unicorns do, it's pretty hard to make that evil. I mean, there are evil unicorns, but they are kind of... it's a whole thing. I mean, the fairies would kind of count in that regard. They are kind of seen as good, but really they are just tricksters. But the Fae have also become extremely known for being tricksters. I don't know if they are generally written down as good or neutral, but they got that angle kind of down already. And you can do this on multiple scales. For instance, a goblin farm, that's pretty small scale. It's a simple monster that you may do something different to survive. Instead of taking over carts, now they tend to their lands and keep their bees. But you can do this big scale too. For instance, one of the most brilliant things I currently have in my campaign is a green dragon wizard who at least drifts closest, in actions at least, towards true neutral. And this is a major player in my campaign. I'm trying not to give away too many details, because, well, some of my players might be watching this. But that dragon is a huge overhanging plot point. Some characters love him, other characters hate him, and other characters are kind of neutral in their disposition towards him. It brings fun tension to the party, and that's also something that evil characters turning neutral, they are great, at least in my experience, in kind of brewing some inner party conflict, because do we trust them, do we not? Do we take the chance of letting them do whatever they're doing? Or do we take them out because they always do evil, so these probably do too, even if we have no reason to think that these are evil, we just have experienced them. They can be, and of course my party is bloody brilliant because they can do inner party conflict without any player drama. Just the characters can clash, while the players are just really nice toward each other. It's really bloody good. But yeah, this can just be overhanging plots that are bloody complicated. It's really a great thing so far. Currently, it seems to kind of take the place. If you watch Critical Role, this is kind of the dodecahedron. If you watch Dice Funk, this is the forms. It's this large thing that keeps coming back, but it's not the main plot point. It's just always there. It's always playing a part. Until at some point, it might become the main plot point where I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea if the party will help this dragon in doing what he wants, or if they will all band together to kill this dragon, or if there's going to be in the party just complete fighting to the death to see what on earth they're going to do. It is going to be crazy. So yeah, that is this video. In my experience, if you want to subvert expectations, don't completely switch something. Don't make something all bad, all good, or something all good, all bad. People will predict that. Instead, nudge them towards the middle and see how that makes things complicated. Now, you don't want to do that with every single creature because that simply doesn't work. You want your bad guys. You want to have things in the world which are just bad and are just good. This is just how you also introduce some things that are just very, very grey. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you maybe get something to think about. This has been Phoenix, saying farewell.